Colbert raise his hand and almost completely cover the screen. That's how close we are. So I'm going to go for it. And let me just tell you really quickly why I'm going to go for it, because I feel like Sunday nights are always such a solitary experience, but they don't need to be, because as memes have shown us, we all feel very similar to each other on Sunday nights. And so I thought, I see an opening. I would like to be the person that brings everyone in for a soft landing into their week. Everyone is a child on Sunday night. Everybody is sensitive on Sunday night. And I look forward to spending time with you on Sunday nights, taking you beyond that window of time where you are trying to discipline yourself away from texting someone you don't want to text, or doing something you don't want to do. Spend the time here. Spend time here. So, also, I just want to give a shout out to Monster Energy, only because I don't have a sponsor for the show, and that happened to be on the top of Amazon Prime. When I ordered the set, it said, "You may also like," and it had this Monster drink. So I clicked on it. So, we got questions, as some of you, see, I can't lean in too far. We've got questions that have been submitted earlier in the day. We can always fall back on that. I did fall asleep, as I told you, and was not able to charge certain things, so we could get a little bit of music, but not that much. And thank you, Dennis, for the set design, the compliment on the set design. If you knew exactly what it was that I was using as set pieces, you would laugh and kind of be afraid of me. So, let's see who's down there, who's saying what. Also, the reason the phone is so close to me, not just because of how small the set is because I have to be able to see what you guys are saying. Another limitation, try to put some words over here. They all come up backwards because this is a selfie cam. So when I asked myself before I did this, why isn't anybody doing this? Over the last 48 hours, it has been pretty keenly laid out to me as to why nobody is doing this. Apple, I just want to say I've never loved you more for your automatic beauty mode, because look at me. Have I ever been to Hoboken, New Jersey? You're goddamn right I've been to Hoboken, New Jersey. And if you don't include a swear word in your explanation of anything to do with Hoboken, New Jersey, then you've just outed yourself as never having been to Hoboken, New Jersey. In fact, I believe a swear is on the town seal as well. It's Latin, but it's dirty. It's dirty. And it's unnecessary. So that blue card is done. That had some writing on it. Also, all I have to do is like, bop, the blue card is filling up the screen. I do actually have some music, in case you needed it. So there's probably a royalty issue too, you know. So we have a little bit here. And I guess I could pull something up. Did I pre-interview myself for this? Jordan, I did. I did. In fact, while I was building this set over 2 days, literally over 2 days, I had a real good laugh with myself about certain things, and I was like, we got to talk about this. Started saying dope recently. I'll remind you that I'm 40 years old. I started saying dope. And it was last week I said dope in a very earnest way. And it was the first time I said dope and I let it go. Thank you, Andy Cohen, for saying it's the best show on TV. I have some questions here. Also, note that I typed the questions out. So anybody watching from a Netflix or a Pepsi, because I ordered a Pepsi as well, thinking, well, maybe Pepsi wants to be a sponsor. They're wondering, is John serious about this show? I'm dead serious. I'm dead serious. Andy, maybe I could have you on the show. Andy, will you stand by? Can I have you on the show in about 10 minutes? Will you stand by? I am Michelle Lee wrote a question. Who can stop you in your tracks and change your mood in an instant? The Candyman can. Now, you're going to say, John, this can't be honest answers. You typed these out. And I say to you, I don't remember what I typed. You know, if you make a mixtape fast enough, you can even make one for yourself. Who can change me in my tracks, or stop me in my tracks and change my mood in an instant? Anyone I've ever loved before and haven't talked to in a while. And I think it's got to be a fairly universal thing. If I ever loved you and we're not looking at each other or hanging out anymore, I want you to know that I find it to be the only thing in the world that doesn't make complete sense to me. And my brain can't get around it. So if it's an old name popping up will get me. And tonight, Sunday night's big night for old names popping up. And you might actually be someone else's old name popping up, to which I say to you, text responsibly this evening. That's why we're here. Although I gotta say, I'm not. In fact, maybe I'd write some more songs faster if I did have a broken heart or was pining. Anybody out there not hurting and finding it a little underwhelming as a way of life? Anybody out there not hurting, missing nobody, needing nothing, and yet finding it somehow some sort of a muted, numb existence? That's what I have. Mo, was this recorded early? Yes. This was recorded at 5:30. And I'm partying at a club right now with you as people are watching this. It's the power of television. That's like hold music while I read what you guys are saying. Oh, thank you, Swedish kid. Swedish kid said, hurt will find you again. Thank you, man. I hope so. I can only hope so. Would be like, and then I think it's like, really wasted that time. Thank you, Reverb. Reverb, we geek out hard on your site. If you're a musician and you're on eBay looking at stuff, get the hell off eBay and go to Reverb. If you're on eBay, think about a show. I would do a show for eBay. That'd actually be a dope show. Hold on, it's time for a drink of Mountain Dew. Yes, Mountain Dew. Explore all angles is what I say. Let me tell you this. On every other Instagram Live I have done before this one, never tits sweated before. Pretty healthy flow going tonight. You know what? That's a great ringtone. If you got a text in it, well, that's the ringtone you should put on the name that could mess you up if you see it. Because that's what it feels like. You look at it from afar, oh, it's probably just, no, it's like, sometimes you look at a name of an ex and it's like a winning lotto number you can't believe you have. 22, 46, 39, 28, I won. This question comes from Vintology726. Any birthday plans? Vintology, yeah, I have a rule about birthdays. Blow it out once every 10 years, 5 if you're nasty. But because I had such an incredible birthday last year, I'm just gonna throw this one away. This one is a complete throwaway of a birthday for me. So, which is great. I think that shows some maturity and some understanding that everybody has a birthday every year. Now, perhaps they're all not unbelievable, sensational events, that a nice dinner is all you need, and that's gonna happen to me. You'd be having a full-on panic attack doing this. You push your face into bread. We're all different. We have different mechanisms inside us. Ben Baller, how do you feel about it? Ben Baller, I would love to have you as a guest on the show. So if you can hit me up later on, DM me. I will follow you so that I know I follow you. By the way, here's a gripe about Instagram, my network. A lot of people wonder why I'm not communicating with people. Why won't you write me back? Why don't you talk to me? John, I'm going to keep writing you. John, I'm going to write you every 15 minutes. There's a couple people who are really, really intense on Instagram DMs. And what's really funny is there's like 2 people. And they write a lot. Like they write every 5 minutes. And they both lack a certain directive in what they're writing. I thought to myself the other day as they were both sort of going, I was like, you guys should talk to each other. I was very compelled, I didn't do it, to be like, hey, John here, I understand, all good. I have someone you should talk to, because you both have pretty much the same narrative drive. But here's the problem with Instagram when it comes to DMs. If I want to communicate with someone I'm not following, I have to follow them. The only way to look at their video or their picture or have a conversation with them in a small, provisional way and then not do that is to block them. Instagram, you're putting me in an unconscionable position where I have to decide if this person would think it worth it to trade talking with me in forever seeing my stories, my feed, or my profile again. And I don't like being put in that position. I don't like being put in that bind. Oh, fix it. I know I'm just one of 400 people who need it, but come on. Gabe, thank you. This backdrop, I want to thank Brandon Phelps, who dropped off these 2 foam core boards from Blick Art Store. I don't want to go too far into this backdrop because I want this to be about the front drop. But this is contact paper I got off of Amazon Prime. Laid that on myself last night. These are stuffed animals that I hot glue gunned myself. And that was fun yesterday when the cleaning lady walked in on me, hot glue gunning stuffed animals. She must have thought, these Beverly Hills people are crazy. And we are. Because look at me. Andy Cohen, would you like to be my guest? Are you still out there, Andy? Let's see if Andy's watching. Also, you can see how close I am to the phone when I just go, and who's here? Oh, now the button's not working. Oh, yeah, nope. That's just a reverse. Well, that's just the rest of my house. Never mind. Yeah, it's just the rest of my house. All right. Well, I don't even know how to use it. I don't even know how to go on live with you, Andy. Andy, oh, it won't do it. Oh, yeah, I can. Hold on a second. Oh, this is hot television. This my forehead. Andy, I know the first question I got to ask you. Bravo, Andy, my friend Andy Cohen, whom I have shared. Andy Cohen, welcome to the show. I have to do this now. I didn't see
John.
How are you?
I'm great. Thanks for having me. I'm loving the show.
You know what, Andy? You come through for me time and time again. You were a guest on the old CBS show when I had 3 of those, and you never seen someone milk those 3 shows more than I have.
Fuck, I'm having a terrible time hearing you. I'm trying to figure out.
Can you hear me?
I hear you a little. Hold on.
I have to pose like vintage.
Oh, fuck, I can't hear you that great. I have a couple comments for you. Can I give you a couple comments? First of all, I'm loving the set, and I want you to know that a lot of people are commenting about how great your hair looks. Oh, so I just want you to know that.
Thank you.
And even some people were asking you for some hair twirling tips, and people may not realize that you actually obsessively do twirl your hair.
Obsessively. I also want to just give a shout out to Red Bull. Red Bull gives you wings. Hit me up.
The other thing I was wondering just watching the show is, speaking of the Red Bull, that what's interesting to me is that with the exception of the Red Bull, the bottles of Pepsi and the other thing that you picked up, are they mini bottles? Because they look very small in your hands, and your face looks so much bigger than ever.
I can explain this. And I'm sorry if you can't hear me. I can explain this. But the problem is, to show you the difference in the sizes, I want to show you some context. I have to hold up 2 brands in the same shot. And I'm not sure I'm ready for that because I don't want to hurt my chances. But I will say this. This is a delicious Starbucks double espresso. Now, this is, let's see that, right? So,
wow.
Delicious Starbucks double espresso. Great drink on the go. This is a Red Bull. See, that's a Red Bull. And normally we don't do this against our hands, Andy. And then that's a Pepsi. That is a small Pepsi. Look at this.
Wow.
Look how you can display the product like this.
I feel like you're gonna have a lot of advertiser interest. Yeah, that's the way to drink it.
Millennials say this is fire.
Another thing I wanted to mention is that I'm so excited. I thought your explanation of, why being on Sunday nights, you could really develop a dialogue with your audience on a Sunday night.
Yeah.
And I just thought, though, that it was kind of odd that then within the same breath you mentioned that, in fact, you're going to be off next Sunday night. So it seems like you would want to build a little momentum. I mean,
such is my life. This is what I complain to you about every day. My life has no momentum. My life is a series of scattered standalone events. No routine, nothing to depend on. It's musical chairs. So, but you know what? Better that I do one and then lose all momentum and start again than to never have this show in the first place.
Yeah, no, I think that's true. I think that's true.
I have a question for you. Can you hear me now, by the way?
Lightly, but yes.
Okay. Did you see Kanye on SNL?
I did see Kanye on
What did you think?
SNL. I just didn't think it made any sense. I thought I didn't think it was great. I mean,
this was me getting the same scoop out of you that you try to get out of me on a show.
I know.
I'm just hoping people take that quote and run with it. Because I was thinking to myself, Andy knows how to get a person to give a quote. And I thought that's a perfect question to ask you to give a quote. So you're going on the record by saying you didn't get it.
I didn't get it.
Great. So
I didn't get it.
Maybe that's a headline tomorrow, like it has been for me so many times.
I don't think that's going to be anybody's clickbait. I don't think it's very surprising.
Did you think maybe it was totally stupid? I mean, would you say that it was? I'm trying to fix your quote so that someone.
Yeah. I thought it was stupid.
You thought it was stupid.
Yeah, I did.
So great. Thank you. And if you work for a paper or a magazine, perhaps you want to let people know that on my show, Current Mood, Andy Cohen came on my show and spilled the beans, and now Andy's going to hang up.
No,
and
you know what I did?
Too much?
No, you know what I did, John? I broke my silence about Kanye West.
That's what it would say.
Right?
That's what it would say.
That would be the hot take on
Yes.
that.
Yes.
I finally broke my silence.
Yeah.
It's been since last night, and
Yeah.
I haven't said anything yet, and
All
a
of
lot
Twitter
of people were
wondering.
kind of wondering.
All of Twitter. Well, now I'm sure if you look out your window, you'll see people just scattering away from your apartment. They've got the shot. They don't need it anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I guess TMZ will leave, the front of my apartment building now because I have broken my silence.
They don't need the story anymore. I mean, you diluted it in some ways. You made it go away completely, but also now you can sleep tonight.
That's true. John, are you going to be doing a number tonight, do you think, later in the show? Or?
I was thinking about doing a number, but again, the aforementioned nap really screwed me up. But I could grab a guitar. It would just if I grab a guitar, it will leave the background just completely empty. Also, I just want to let you know that I've $8.99 has been charged to my account for Amazon digital downloads. You can't see it. I wish my notifications could come up and everybody could see it.
I have to say the stuffed animals that you glue gunned back, and specifically the rainbow, is phenomenal. Is there anything else that you want to reveal about the set right now? The versatility of the set?
Well, I don't know if it's versatility or it's just stupidity, but to be able to do it, Andy, and I have to take a break. I have to let you go so I can show the full range.
Got it.
Andy Cohen, ladies and gentlemen, the first guest.
Thank you so much for having me, John.
Thank you so much. And you want anything you want to plug?
No, Watch What Happens Live, and of course, Radio Andy, The Housewives, all that jam.
Great. Well, I can't wait for you to see those numbers jump after 16,000 people decide.
Thank you so much. And
You're
John, wish you a lot of luck with the new show.
Thank you.
And also, here's rooting for you to grab that guitar later in the show.
Thank you.
I think
Maybe I will.
We all could use a song. People have the Sunday scaries, so.
You know what? You talked me into it. We'll close the show out with it.
All right. Thanks, buddy.
Thanks, everyone. Andy Cohen, thanks very much. So you might be asking, how did you get the rainbow to stay up there on the wall like that? And the answer is there are these two little screw holes, but I didn't have any screws, so I found two on a guitar amplifier. So I took the screws out of a guitar amplifier, and we rigged that up real good. Now this doesn't make a hell of a lot of sense. Can I show you something? And I hate to start off a possible endorsement with a gripe. What would you say the front of this can is? Would you say that's the front of the can? When you think you found the front of the can, say stop. Well, that's the damn back of the can. Well, we can work it like this. This can makes no sense. This seems like a front. This seems like the front of the can. Where's the hole? What? All right, well, let's line the hole up with the mouth. This is the front. You know what, Diet Coke? I don't want that endorsement. You know why? Because I have 6 drinks here, and only one of them is crooked. Actually, Diet Coke, I have an apology to make. Where's the front of this can? The front of this can's right here. Where's the mouth? Right there. How does that make any sense at all? Does anybody work for a bottling company? Does anybody work out there for a beverage company who can explain why drinking, this is what you see when I drink this. Now, the only way to make it really work and sell the product like I would like to and that's not appealing at all. Let's see if anyone else is lined up. I swear to God, this is not a bit, but it's a good one if I'd planned it, and I didn't. Mountain Dew, which, by the way, we don't expect a lot out of Mountain Dew. I just want to say that. Also, here's the front of the Mountain Dew can. A true front sip. I feel like if there's one that's lined up, automatically going to be endorsing it. Red Bull. Here's the front of Red Bull. Here's the real front sip. Not a single one of these make any sense. In which case, I would just like to say, still would love an endorsement from any one of you. Someone asked me today when they saw the post about the logo for the show, which of course makes no appearance here because I don't have a printer and it would be backwards. They said, you have X number of dollars, which they use my celebrity net worth amount, which is wrong. I won't tell you in what direction because, man, 0 to asshole in a heartbeat if you go the wrong direction. If you go, that's wrong, and just don't even get into it. Rather just show off pictures of my feet. They were surprised that I wouldn't have spent any of the money. I've done well in music. Surprised I wouldn't spend any of that money on a show. Let me tell you something. The last thing you want to see is me coming in like my own rich kid, because music person made a lot of money, and all of a sudden he's going to come in with a show set. It's going to be crazy. I want to prove that I'm good at having a show. I've done that with a lot of this. Duck brand duct tape. This I'm not asking for an endorsement on. Even if you offered me an endorsement on duct tape, it looks bad to tell the world that you use so much duct tape that you have an endorsement. Thanks, Booth B. Yeah, you know, some designers were upset that I used a free logo company, but it wasn't really free. I just didn't pay for it. I took the low-res sample image and I ran with it. And I think it'd be funny if no matter how popular the show became, if it ever did grow, that I would still have a completely low-res graphic, like on a billboard. That would be unbelievable. It's like, he is a man of principle. He's never going to pay for that logo. Sometimes when I think about my funeral. Air Brendan, stop trying so hard. Okay. Stop. Congratulations. You've come up with a contrarian thought. Got it. I think about my funeral sometimes. And a lot of what I think about my funeral is the fear that the photo on my program will be low res and sort of pixely. And I'm not joking. And I keep thinking to myself, can you bring guns on the show? I don't think that's illegal. You can bring guns on the show. I worry that on my funeral program, that it will be like, and not super high res, but like if you look at it, not totally scaled up right. And to add insult to death, squeezed a little too hard this way, a little stretched out that way. Like trying to make it into a widescreen and it wasn't, so I'm a little bit like furb and a little bit pixelated. That's my fear of death. I'm happy to go into the afterworld. I don't even need a will. I just need an Adobe Illustrator template of the funeral program. Stop, I've seen so many low-res funeral programs. I don't think I've ever seen a high-res funeral program. And I think if there was a company to start, if you really want to see a niche market, people need high-res funeral programs. I can't believe we're talking about this. Oren Tamir asks, do you ever feel like, shit, I have to go to work before a gig? Great question. There's a little bit of a distinction here. I've never thought to myself before I got on a stage, shit, I have to go to work. But man, there are times before I get on an airplane, I don't want to go to work. By the time I get to where the work is, it's lovely. Just like tonight. We're off and running, baby. This is fine. Didn't really want to do it at 7:30. In fact, I don't want to do anything right before it happens. There's a really, let me draw something for you if you don't mind. This is the planning stage of a thing, and this is actually doing the thing. So you have this thing, it just goes like this. It's very exciting. It's very exciting. Oh shit, I have to do it. I guess hey, this is awesome. That's how it works for me. And right now, right about here. We are right about here. We are right about here. And we turn it upside down. Was that your number? Pretty freaky, right? That's how my life works. That's going to be my production company logo for this show. Do I often keep Sharpies on your person? I do have Sharpies on my person. It makes great sense to have them. I don't have them on me very often anymore, but when I'm on tour, I might have one in my pocket. Play Catfish John. Catfish John, that's a song. I don't remember who it's by. Now throw the card at the camera. Hey, you know what? In stark contrast to the don't try so hard guy, need this card. I don't need this card. Doesn't that feel good? Where did you get the stuffed animals? Amazon.com. Again, grown man orders 50 stuffed dogs. I'm sure I'm on a no-fly list somewhere from that. Do I draw on people with my Sharpies? I do not, unless I'm asked. I don't like it when someone says, sign your name, I'm going to get it tattooed, because it puts too much pressure on me to sign my name. You should say, sign your name, and then I just won't overthink it. And then you say, by the way, gonna go get it tattooed. And I'd go, well, great, because that one was really good for me. Can I play Name That Tune? Yeah, I can play Name That Tune. Okay, I have to go get my guitar. I can feel, I don't even have a tuner for my guitar. Let me grab a guitar. This should be the segment of the show where I grab a guitar. But while I'm gone, you're going to be seeing an empty set. So can I trust you to stay there? Okay. So how's it going? Yeah, good. Yeah. No, I'm listening. Hey, that's the sound of a guitar coming out of a case. By the way, this is a unique opportunity to thank the great Ed Sheeran for the gift of this Loudon guitar. Ed, you are a super generous dude, and Ed and I send stuff back and forth occasionally. This guitar is gorgeous. God knows I'm a Martin guy, but this as well is a beautiful guitar. So I thank you, Ed. Okay, I'm going to play Name This Tune. I'm going to try to name this tune. Oh, that's a good one. Hold on. No, I know it. Hold on. Fuck, I know it. No. So stop this train. Stop this train. Woo-hoo-hoo. All right, give me another one. No, I'm not colorblind. No, the world's black and white. Perfect Sunday night song. Try to keep an open mind. Just can't sleep on this tonight. Stop this train. I wanna get off and go home again. I can't take the speed it's moving. No, I can't. But honestly, won't someone stop this train? Don't know how else to say it. Don't wanna see my parents go. See, now I gotta say this. One generation's length away, fighting life out on my own. Don't now stop this train. I wanna get off and go home again. I can't take the speed it's moving in. I know I can't, but honestly, won't someone stop this train? So good at getting home, so scared of getting on. I'm only good at being young. One generation's length of sorry, it's been a long time. So I play the numbers game to find a way to say that life has just begun. I still try to know. Had a talk with my old man. I said, help me understand. He said, 1068, you'll renegotiate. Don't stop this train. Don't borrow many change to play sorry. Don't think I couldn't ever stay. I tried my hand, joined on to sleep. I'll never stop this train. Oh, now once in a while, when it's good, it'll feel like it should. And they're all still around. And you're still safe and sound, and you don't miss a day till you cry. When you're driving away in the dark, singing stop this train. Wanna get off and go home again. I can't take the speed it's moving in. No, I can't, 'cause now I see I will never stop this train. Damn it. All right. Doesn't that feel good? Doesn't that feel good after a week where your brain is exhausted? And I'm not saying my song particularly, but music of any kind, of a pure intent. Music is beautiful because it is a pure intent. And it is of inarguable intent. And so much of your life and our lives have to do with decoding intention of what we hear. So we're tasked with so many jobs at the same time. Listen to what someone's saying, decode what their intention is, decide whether they're telling the truth or not, and develop a response. And everybody is tired. And I'm being dead serious. Part of me wanting to do this show is to bring people back to a more sort of human tradition of hearing someone talk, believing what they're saying, being put at ease, made to feel okay, made to feel like, all right, it's okay. And it is okay because it has to be okay. So if someone says it's okay and you say it's not okay, I worry about that. You have to work backwards from the fact that you are alive. You are going to be here for a while, and it has to be okay. And even if it's shitty, you have to find a way to make the answer that everything's going to be okay. And that's a long week. That's a long week. This week put everybody in a courtroom. People who aren't used to it, people who aren't prepared for it. Listen to someone talk. Decode what their intentions are. Therefore, while you listen to them, try to reverse engineer what their level of defensiveness is and what they have to hide and what they're trying to snake out of. And specious argument, you know. The world right now is completely full of shit. It would be one thing if we were full of shit too, but we're not. And the sickness and the sadness that you feel is from the disconnect between the world itself in this current incarnation being completely full of shit. And because you're not full of shit, hey, CM Punk, you really better relax. Because you're not full of shit, your brain gets an illness to it. It's an overall illness to living in a world that has so much intellectual, spiritual, and emotional interference. That's not who we are. And part of me believes that perhaps the world stage is too big a stage to dance on for us, these little, tiny, simple people who want acceptance, who want admiration in one way or another, who want to be invited to the party. The bare essentials have been overlooked. We want company. We want encouragement. We want to feel like the ride is worth it. And the ride is worth it. The current version of laying out the ride might be a bit too steep. And I don't want to step on anyone else's idea of what the world is supposed to be, and certainly assign yourself to whatever role you feel like that has to be. However, you really are going against the grain of a lot of biology in thinking that the human brain and heart can withstand that many hours per week of cognitive dissonance. When someone says something and you don't believe it to be true, while they are talking, their speech takes 4 times as much energy out of you as somebody you believe is telling the truth. With that, I want to send you on your way for the week with pure of heart. Set aside some time to live small, to live in your town, to live in your house, to live in your place of work. Set aside some time to see the world through a slightly smaller aperture, because you deserve the happiness that that should bring. And a lot of people on this are younger than I am. And I have had my 20s and 30s and had mostly a lovely time. I just don't like the idea that something in the world could change that would rob people in their 20s and 30s of a kind of deserved, there's an existence owed to you of happiness. And so set aside some time to be truthful and kind, and perhaps at the expense of there being just a smaller sample of the world you pull in. Just pull in a smaller sample of the world, the one around you. The world around you is beautiful. The world that's downloaded from the big mother brain in the sky, as contributed by millions of people creating this coding, that's tiring. And we all have to live in there, but let's live outside the matrix as well. I'm speaking to you about all of this in front of a wall of stuffed animals and some science fair foam board, but I mean it from the heart. I love you dearly. I will come to Brazil. We'll see you again in a week, well, 2 weeks from now, because we're off next week. we are off next week. It's just me. I stood around in my house and duct taped this stuff together. This is an ironing board. God bless you. I love you. Have a great week. Goodbye.